All right. And the stream begins. The evening painting session begins. Here we go. We'll probably be working on this painting for a couple of weeks. Got some new canvases. Got one canvas that I've got prepared, ready to go for when the time comes. We're just constantly working on our paintings. Painting skills, painting prowess. All right. Looks like the Omizu Paints is here. The Omizu. The Polite Water. Polite Water is here, everybody. Say hello to Polite Water. What's up? Hey. You got a date. Awesome, dude. That is exciting. Congratulations. Celebrate. I'd ask you what you're planning, but, you know, I feel like maybe keep it a surprise and then you can tell us about it afterwards so nothing gets spoiled. Congratulations, man. That's always nice, having a nice, exciting date. Very good. You have to tell us all about it later. Or tell us not all about it, just about some stuff. Okay. But yeah, man, get to sleep, get that rest, and then you're gonna have a good time. You shall have a great time. This part of the arm is looking a little bit too there's like too many hard edges, so I figure I have to do something about that at some point. You know, honestly, I don't even feel like painting right now, but I'm forcing myself to do it. I just want to tighten a few details. And I feel like Pookie. I swear, little Pookie, you're gonna come here. Come here. This little kitty. This little kitty. Where, Pookie? This little kitty gets you. Row? Why are you growling? You're the one who likes to smack your tail on oil paint. You gotta stop doing that, okay? If you keep coming up here, I'm gonna keep giving you hugs. You gonna keep growling? Pookie. Okay. Put you down, you just gotta stop annoying me at the oil paint. Pookie or Poopy? Both. All right, we got Raquelmi Silva. We got MZ Skill. It's good. Pookie or Pook? Pookie. I don't know. You can spell it either way. We don't have a specific way of spelling it. Either with the Y or an IE. You know, it's not written anywhere. She doesn't have a birth certificate that I know of. Yeah. All right, here we go. We need got a couple things I got to tighten up along Michael. And what we got to do, so I want to tighten up the area around Michael here.
sat next to the Prince of Denmark. Right. The Prince of Denmark.
So USA, Manda Salve. Whatever that means. Yes, I'll agree. I shall agree. So just trying to tighten up this lettering here. And let's see, I want to tighten up the front of this jersey. Here's the problem with this brush is it's got these like little, the parts have very started to come apart, so it's like really hard to get a nice line down. All right, there we go. Let's see what else. So these figures, let's tighten up some of these figures here. And let's go add a green. We should have put a green down a long time ago, but I didn't. So we're gonna add it now. Or we can actually try to find a green with this blue and green. Let's see. We mix some yellow, and we got some blue, and yellow and blue make green.
You broke my daughter's nose.
And let's see, find some more yellow. It's a very light green, so let me try to find this light green color here.
Now, has Henry ever exhibited violent behavior before? What happens more?
And here we go. Let's get this nice light green. We're gonna extend this out just a bit. Okay. And then we're going to add our blue back in just to try to capture some of the shadows. This is every serial killer's dilemma is when their child turns out to be shows signs of becoming a serial killer too. This is a show. I'm talking about a show. There's a show on TV right now called You. It's on.
Anna Camp.
Yes, shout out to Anna Camp from Pitch Perfect. We see Anna Camp and we support Anna Camp. Now let's keep finding this. The shadow. And let's go like this. Shadow's gonna come down right there. Folds there. Just the initial folds, just to create some dimension here. And then let's see. Let's work on blending these in a bit. My goodness. How is this painting going to come together? I have no clue. Gonna push and push, and then eventually, hopefully it all just makes sense at some point. Let's see. This is what happens when you bite off more than you could chew. But I like doing that. I like biting off more than I can chew. Let's find this green here.
What is this for?
I've invited Reagan and Harrison for dinner.
What?
She's setting up for about something I had to act fast. I need to make this. She has plans to press charges.
She thinks he's ready to be you. Can't negotiate with this terrorist.
She'll be helping him in school. Diffuses the even smoke rubbish.
These fabrics are so amazing. These fabrics that were painted. Pretty incredible. It's like an invisibility to them.
What Reagan did was and she worked
Oh, let's see. What do we do? Let's go. It's his sister, though. So it's his sister's son. Huh? His daughter's son? His sister's daughter?
Ah. Ah.
Oh, that's his. Does she have a twin? Is that other girl the same? Huh?
They look like twins.
Are they twin sisters? Is it
Looks like
two?
it.
Anakin? Oh, that's cool. So he's got twin sisters.
Looks like it.
Huh. Interesting. That's cool. What a little twist there.
Ah.
What a nice little twist that makes some interesting television.
For Anna.
Yeah. I wonder if when you do a role like that, if you get paid for double appearances.
Double the lines. Double the lines.
Double the appearances. All right, so here we go. We need a nice little shadow across the bottom right here. Hmm. It's paintings like this that make me want to go and learn to do it the traditional way, which is actually like sketching it out with a pencil, every detail ahead of time, and then doing the painting. What that helps you do is that helps you to not have to constantly move and modify and maneuver things. You just get straight into the work. All right, let's go into these figures here. Gosh, these details are so like small. I have to figure out a way to make this work.
Okay, everything's folded.
All right.
The minute I took off the necklace I was going to, Scout leaped onto the dresser, grabbed it in his mouth, and took off. Jason's taking.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. Yes. That's how
Hi. You could totally spend like years just studying each of these figures. How am I going to fill these spaces right here? Hook. Stop. The end of the line for you. The end of the line for you. You do not come past here. Might have to like move these heads closer. This head's pretty close. It's this kid's head, this big kid's head with the red face. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move his head a little closer instead of trying to like modify all these arms and things. I need to get his cheek right up against here.
hired us again for Meta.
Okay. That. And there's gonna be some shadow in here. This is about better. Yeah, I like this little, the way this is designed a little bit better. And then let's go around the face, this hair. Give us our brown. And then we're going to go nice and dark into the space here. see, we got the hand, got the face, the cheek. Let's go bring this down here. All right, get me a drink of water. Let's see. How's this looking? Go like this. Some dimension to the arm right here. Huh?
Hollywood Film and TV Networking next tonight. It's tonight. Oh.
Let's go right here. These heads, this hand. Let me get a small brush. I'm gonna try to add some details into some more of these faces here. Yo, Bonator. All right, take care. I think I missed your message, but take care, dude. Have a great date tomorrow. Wish you the best.
Who has a date?
Huh?
Bonator has a date.
Bowenator has a date. Bowenator has a date. I'm gonna add a little bit of this highlight across the top of the head here. Maybe a little bit in the head right here as we go around the cheek. Let me grab some of this. Let's gray out the hair here. Silence. Viewing the silence, the silence. You know, today's live stream, I just don't feel like talking too much. Can you believe that? I don't feel like talking on my live stream. What's wrong with me? Go into this mustache here, bring it forward. Bring a beard around the front. God, I can never get the area just under the, I can never get the area under the nose right. I always make it a little bit too, paint over this and then do it again later. Let's see how we can tighten this up here. Let's add some shadows and some deeper shadows into the eyes. Let's do. Cookie, no. No, Pookie, no. Go around the ear.
I was talking about. I was thinking about. Yeah. And how many of Daddy's friends just kill themselves when the doctor's there? And we were always his favorite. What did he call it, Buddy? Killer instinct? Pretty convenient that God had suddenly rushed him. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Do you think he voices his own thing, or do you think they have a voiceover actor?
I don't believe I wasn't talking. I was talking about. I think you got it. Yeah. And how many of Daddy's friends just kill themselves when the doctor's there? And we were always his favorite. What do you call it? Killer instinct.
Yep, ChatGPT definitely would have made this in seconds for sure. I was saying that the other day. I was saying, you know, it'd be hilarious if somebody like just plugged this into ChatGPT, said Michael Jordan touching the fingers of God from similar to the painting from the Sistine Chapel painting. It'd be so easy. So easy for someone to do that. So easy. But as far as I've seen, I mean, as far as I've seen, no one has really made the effort to do that yet. Fortunately, but maybe one day, maybe soon enough. Maybe no one wants to, put in the effort. I mean, this probably could have taken a really talented artist, you know, maybe half a day, right? If all you do is project it onto here, and then you just like.
Don't speak to my wife that way.
Oh, you dick, Joseph. I mean, who even are you and your bad
Let's try to find some shadow colors now.
We would keep the wrong monster if Bob was a guillotine ready as a fucking nuke.
I'm coming for everything. Joe, your son, your pathetic fucking
It's funny. Anna Kemp's so funny. Yeah, what do you do when someone throws a knife at you? You freak the heck out. You yell about it. You freak out about it. Grab our yellow ochre here and let's try to find some more color variety in this guy's.
She just accused you of killing Bob and everything. She may have moved on that.
Joe, you can't think that's a reasonable response.
She's not gonna stop it. With her, if she made this wrong, have this better than Bob had on both of us.
Oh, you're obviously killing my sister. Well, I just want to know about stop it. That is not who we are. So, suspicious of this across the colonies.
So what is my sin?
God, they used such pale colors back then. My goodness, I can't get over how pale of the colors they were using. And it keeps like affecting how I paint because you know there's no I don't have any like pale colors. So trying to like constantly blend in subtle shades. Very challenging. Should probably take a break soon. Starting to cramp up. this pale blue. Maybe we can find some shadows. Muted gray. Pale blue, muted gray. All right, let me try to finish another figure at a time. Go back into this one figure at a time. So how do we do this figure? Gotta cut a little bit of blonde hair. We need some of the shadows along the inside of the hair here. So this is gonna help us create the shadow along the inside of the hair. Maybe a little bit darker with our yellow. And there we go. So then we're gonna add in a nice deep shadow right here for the eye. It's like a funky eye. There's a lot of eyes, just like subtle samples of eyes rather than real eyes. Clean out this brush again. And let's go into here. So whatever this face is, it's really throwing me off. This weird face. And I need yellow ochre. Let me grab a yellow ochre. Actually, you know what? I could probably use some of this yellow that I already have. Whatever yellow I already have. Let me try to find this color into here. We're going to cut off part of this face.
What's going on?
Right there. Try to blend these hair spaces up. The one under the arm kind of looks like me. This guy? Maybe it is you, Omizu. Maybe it is you. Who else could it possibly be? Let's see, we're gonna add one little speck of highlight. Why do I have such a headache right now? I ate too much salt today. That's probably why. I get headaches when I eat too much salt. And I had a lot of, what do they call it? Chicken stock, and that has a ton of sodium in it. Hey, Kat, you got Advil somewhere? Of course, right? Yes? Thank you.
Two.
Alexa, how do you get rid of a sodium headache?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, how do you get rid of a headache caused by eating too much sodium?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Poke it! Poke it. Go. Stop. Poke it. What? All right. If my headache went away, I think I would have an easier time painting. So, hopefully these ibuprofens help a little bit. I need to go to the gym tomorrow. Tomorrow needs to be a good gym day. Tomorrow needs to be a gym day. Gym day, gym day, gym day. Jimmy cracked corn and no one cared. Jimmy cracked corn and no one cared. This guy's actually looking okay. Maybe add like a little yellow highlight, yellow white highlight. It's so hard to get white to show up on the space. There we go. Oh, look at that. It's little highlights. And then now let me just try to find a good little tan to blend it all together. Good night. It's past your bedtime. All right. Hey, yes, everybody, like and subscribe. Don't forget. Sometimes you need a reminder. You need a reminder. Sometimes it's good to remind you. So many little subtle gradations. Such subtle gradations. It's absurd. Okay. Okay. I swear, Michelangelo's painting style was way all over the place. I feel like he like painted over so many areas because there's just so much chaos in this painting. Hopefully this headache goes away so I can paint with a little more peace. Look at me trying to explain away my failure to paint like Michelangelo. How absurd is that? Of course I can't do it like him because I have a headache.
Back then they didn't have aspirin. So
Right.
consider yourself lucky.
Yes, consider myself lucky. I feel lucky. But just the humor in general of like, you know, kind of funny. Like, I'm blaming it on a headache. I'm not blaming it on the fact that, you know, I haven't spent 16, 20, 30 years. Alexa, how old was Michelangelo when he died?
Michelangelo died at 88 years old on February 18, 1564.
Yes, of course it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he spent, you know, the entire first 15, 20, 30 years of his life building up a reputation just so he could paint the Sistine Chapel. It has nothing to do with that. It only has to do with the fact that I have a headache. Sarcasm, joking. It's an unappreciated activity. Has nothing to do with the fact that he was one of the greatest masters who ever lived, and I'm just imitating. Let me try to paint a shadow around this top head here to clear up this confusion here. Honestly, this probably needs to be tightened up a bit. So I'll have to paint over this again. That's okay. Let's go into here.
Alexa, what time is it? The time is 8:47 p.m.
Oh, he's got the little mouse.
Which one has it? Scout or
Scout, he's got a mouse.
When you're done streaming, I'll tell you about what we're doing tomorrow night.
Who's we?
You and me.
Oh.
Remind me.
Let's expand this guy's forehead a little bit higher. All these little angels are all like their foreheads, their heads like go back so far. Or their hairlines extend back really far. I feel like he must use like the same model for all of these figures. What do I gotta do? Alright, I think this is no, I can keep going. I can keep going just a little bit longer. Let me find, I should lay down some yellow ochre so I have it instead of constantly looking for it. I'll lay down this yellow ochre. And where's this go? What was I just working with on this? What was I just trying to do with this yellow ochre here? Yellow ochre yellow. And then we're gonna come into here and add a little bit of a shadow along the top underside of this leg here. That's just going to help us get more cohesive with our figure. And let's figure this out. Add this. Here, so we have it, and this into the body here. And then we're going to come down into here. These three heads are just like insanely weird. Insanely weird. Got a huge jaw. It's like weird positioning. Let me do this face. Go like this. Grab our yellow here. And grab our yellow and try to shape this head. So add the shape of this head is going to come forward a little bit. And here we go. I have to cut off her cheek just a little bit right here. And let's try to bring down her nose. Actually, where else can we use this ochre? I really like this color that we have right now. Maybe round it out. Probably doing the same thing over and over. I'm just repeating myself. My activities, I mean. Like these butt cheeks are like way, way more cheeky than an actual painting. Way, way more cheeky. All right. What's up with this? Got a forehead up here that I gotta work on. So we need to bring a nose to the front. So that's, I'm going to bring a red nose to the front. Red, pink nose. Red, orange, pink nose. Do I really even need this? Not really. So we're going to come down, across with this. Come down like that. I'm gonna add a little white highlight. All right, people, this is where anxiety sets in. If anyone's wondering, I tend to overshare how I feel throughout my painting process. And I've taken on an incredibly challenging painting endeavor, not just because the painting itself is really complex, but because, you know, because of ultimately having to study one of the greats, you know. It is a challenging painting, beyond challenging, I guess. A little bit more than challenging. It's a pretty complicated one. I'm looking at this and I'm like, should I just quit now while I'm here? Like, is it worth it to just keep going and try to finish it? I'm like, will it ever look good? Can I trust that, you know, the ugly phase won't last forever? I don't know. I don't know these things. And you know, there's some parts that I'm like, okay, I kind of got it on that part. And then other parts where I'm like, I just can't stand painting small. My goodness. That's what I'm really mad about myself for. It's painting small. These are all small heads. You know what? I shall continue and I shall succeed. If this is already pink, then I just want to add some white along the top. And honestly, this was done in fresco. So the original was done in fresco, which means, you know, if you're using oil paint, the effects are going to be a little bit different. I don't actually know the specifics of like what the materials were used for a fresco, but, you know, of course you're going to have to consider that when oil painting and realizing that, you know, you're going to have something quite different. You're not going to have like the natural cracking that gives it that like fine art feel, among other things. Oh, what is this? Just making that shadow a little bit more subtle, blending it in, giving it some blend. And let's see if we can take this ochre and play with this ochre along the body to create more subtle shadows throughout this figure here. Yeah, there we go. It's not bad. And then maybe add a hint of yellow. Let's see how this goes. Hint of yellow right there. Yeah. See if we could just add like this is actually fairly decent right here. I think these are just adding some nice little like transitions. Yeah, you know what? That actually turned out pretty good. I could be happy with what just transpired. Looking at it on camera gives it like these subtle, just little transitions of color in this area. You know what? Maybe what I should do is I should use this technique, which is just constantly like cross hatching across the painting here. Is that working? Yeah, not too bad. And originally I thought his shirt was pink, but now I'm seeing like a purple. By the way, you know what? I think if this is wet, I'll never be able to really apply this white until it gets dried. To really apply this white to its fullest effect, I feel like his arm is very anatomically incorrect. The way Michelangelo painted it. Yes, that's right. I'm critiquing Michelangelo's arm. Because if you look at this, he's got the shoulder here, and then he's got the shoulder here, and he's got the bicep or the tricep, And he's got the forearm, and then he's got like another thing way in the back. This other little twist here that doesn't really make sense as far as the arm goes. I mean, maybe it does. And then he's got the shoulder, and he's got this huge arm that comes around to the front. So that's my critique of the great Michelangelo's painting of the Sistine Chapel. So therefore, you know, as I start to do this, I will have some of the similar errors. People don't usually critique errors of masters, but they will totally critique your errors, even if they match. Isn't that amusing? I need another subtle transition from here. Nice subtle transition. Let's see if we can add a subtle transition right in this little arm gap here. So he rolled his sleeve up so he could touch the finger of Adam. Very cool. All right. It's a nice little observation. Pookie, what are you doing? Quit playing with my stuff. What you got, Pooks? Hey, it's not for you. I definitely need to have some more patience right now. What I'm hoping to do is use my alla prima, which is trying to do it all in one sitting, right? Trying to blend the paint while it's still wet. But I find that that's not working. I find that that's really not working because all I'm doing is just mixing colors and there's no real progress because our colors don't really have a chance to shine. So what I gotta do is let some parts dry and then work them some more later. And let's see if we can add a little transition shadow into here. We're gonna go, you know, right into this belly button. And then this is gonna come across like so. It's gonna come around, show some more curves. And then, honestly, I probably should move that belly button up a little higher. Yeah, you know, let's start this section over again. We're gonna blend this in. And then we're going to bring our belly button up a little bit higher. So this guy's got a bigger area as far as his lats are showing. So his lats are a little bit bigger, but let's see, where do we want to put the belly button? If we're going to put the belly button maybe like right up here. It's a good spot. And we'll tighten this up later, but just good to have the positioning ahead of time. Let's see. Yeah, really subtle. Too subtle for me. All these like little transitions are just too subtle for me. And try to get this yellow, ochre, and yellow together into a nice little color. Yellow, ochre, yellow. And maybe if we go in here. Like there's too many different colors here. And I think that's messing with like the visual element of it, you know? There's just too many different colors. So I need to tie it together somehow. Like this shouldn't be red over here. That's a little better. There we go. That's a little better. All right. Getting closer. Just too much color variation. Because of that, it's like it just doesn't feel like it's united as far as this body. You know, it feels like multiple different bodies. And I think it's starting to look a little bit more unified, except for this butt cheek. So let's try to go into this butt cheek and unify with our yellow ochre, maybe even just yellow. The unification process. And maybe, let's go into the calf. Let's try to find our calf. Go into our calf. And then just blend a little bit of a highlight around. So, just a slight, ever so slightest highlight. No, that's not working. Let's see. All right, I think that's a lot better, actually. A lot better. My goodness, look at that. Just a little change. Now, there's still a little bit too much redness in these cheeks. I was looking for like some orange, but I don't like the I want to try to match it of what they're doing. Like, I thought it might be funny to make them extra red, but you know what? I'm going for somewhat closeness. You know, this is supposed to be as much of a learning experience. I mean, no matter what, these cheeks are way rounder. My goodness, why do they look so dang round? Like, they legit look like these legs are a little bit too wide and thick. But haha. But let me add some shadow here. Gonna add our ochre shadow. But the butt. I'm gonna add some shadow just to give it some muscular definition. So maybe that'll reduce the roundness of it. Yeah, a little bit. That helped just a bit. Like, it looks abnormally round. And I think what needs to happen is this cheek also needs to come out a bit further. According to my reference. I am using a reference, people, in case you are wondering. Yes, there is a reference. If you don't know the reference, if you don't know what this image is, I highly suggest you buying a plane ticket to Italy and going to the Sistine Chapel in Rome. I think it's in Rome. Alexa, is the Sistine Chapel in Rome?
I found a Sistine Chapel in Vatican City.
Oh, Vatican City.
Sistine Chapel is 6,300.
See, even I haven't actually gone there. Alexa, off. So I haven't actually gone there to see the painting. But in my dreams, I do. I visit places in my dreams. But yes, I shall one day go see this in person and be totally amazed at how it looks upon the ceiling of the wall of the Sistine Chapel. So let's go again with our yellow. We'll try to find our yellow. And we're going to wrap up here in a few moments. Going to wrap up here soon. I want to bring in some detail right here. And then I want to bring down some shadow. I'm going to bring down some shadow, but not too much shadow. So we're going to go like right here. And then I'm thinking here it needs to get nice and dark. So I'm going to grab our gray and we're going to wrap up here in a few moments. But just want to get this last section done. That's a little better. Okay, I could be okay with that. The cheeks are way rounder, and I need to create some separation between here. But let me see what I can do about that. If I want to create the separation, I got to add a nice dark red. I need to add some dark reds into this section. Might even call them dark reds. Yeah, dark reds. Because in here, what we got is a we got is the rest of the scarf. So let's see, we can tighten this up, make this less distinct. And now let's take a break. This is good for the evening. I see some people here. Those of you here, thank you for being here. But I need a break. This is, you know, if you've ever wanted an adrenaline rush, but you're not like into like super extreme sports, like, you know, you don't want to break bones and stuff, get into painting. Because if you've ever felt like, you know, if you've ever wanted to get like a mild adrenaline rush, that comes from making a mistake on a painting you've been working on for a long time and being like, how am I going to fix this? Especially if you're doing it live. Like if you live stream at the same time and you're trying to do a demo or something and you mess up, that is quite a little rush you could get. You know, not quite as amazing as, you know, running a marathon or like skydiving or getting into a fight or something. Not that kind of adrenaline rush, but you know, you get a little bit of a anxiety rush, but not like bad anxiety. It's like good anxiety. It's like, you know, kind of pushes you. You get a little bit excited because you're like, how am I going to solve this problem during a live stream? Maybe I won't. Maybe I have to do it on another live stream. That's the reality of it all. We're going to wrap up right now. Wrap this up, baby. Wrap it up, wrap it up. But if you're here, thank you. We are slowly putting this all together, all these different pieces, just figuring out colors. It took me a while to like, here's the problem with the way I paint sometimes, is the way I paint is I paint with an open palette, which means I don't care what colors I bring onto here, but that becomes a problem with this painting because it does matter what colors I bring on here, unless I'm going for something very different. And with an open palette, sometimes I find myself not placing down enough color of the color that I need. So like say I need yellow ochre, I place a little bit, and then I try to mix other colors to try to capture that same color of yellow ochre when I could just gotten some yellow ochre to help me, for example. But yeah, little figure out ways to do things better. I think it's getting Pookie. Stop. Talking to my cat, by the way. When I say Pookie, I'm talking to my cat. She always likes to flick her tail on my oil paintings, which I wouldn't mind that much, but I don't want her getting oil paint on her tails because it's not good for her. But anyways, let me put a wrap on this for those of you that were here. Thank you, and like, subscribe, take care. You know, if you want to do anything, if you don't want to make a donation or a super chat or anything, the best thing you could do, I mean, second from just being here and enjoying the stream, is to subscribe, like the channel, do all those things. You just have to tap one of the subscribe buttons and that's it. Really simple. But anyway, hey, take care, everyone.